The big question that many people have at the moment is whether the US was aware of this strike.
Yeah, and to be honest, it's a question that we really don't have a clear answer for. Taking you back just a couple of hours, we got word from a White House official that the US had been told by the Israelis that this strike was going to take place. But then just a couple of hours after that then contradicted by Caroline Leavitt at the podium of the White House during her press briefing, who said that the US was made aware of the strike by the US military. And it was at that point that the US then informed the Qataris that this was happening. And then we are told by Caroline that it was at that point that Donald Trump spoke to Prime Minister Netanyahu in Israel. So there's still a couple of questions as to the order of things. Caroline Leavitt was pressed on this numerous times at the briefing, and she just kept referring back to that statement that she gave about the order of things. But it is unclear whether the US military was told about these strikes by the Israelis or whether they detected it themselves. Of course, they have a lot of surveillance in that area. CENTCOM is based out of Qatar at that Air Force base just mere kilometers away from where the strike took place. So it's unclear what the intelligence was that the US military then gave to the White House. So this really then is raising some questions as to whether this was a failure of communication between the Israelis and the Americans on this strike, or whether the White House was indeed aware of this and was just trying not to annoy the Qataris that this strike was going to be happening. In that statement that we got from Caroline further down, she mentions Qatar and says that Donald Trump has spoken to the Emir and the Prime Minister of Qatar. She says that they view Qatar, the President views Qatar as a strong ally and friend of the United States, and that the President feels very badly about the location of this attack. But he said that Donald Trump believes this incident could serve as an opportunity for peace. Now, like I said, he says that the statement says that Donald Trump spoke to the Emir of Qatar and the Prime Minister. He says that he thanked them for their support and friendship to our country. He assured them that such a thing will not happen again on their soil. So the Americans here trying to thread the needle, really, of being happy that this strike took place against Hamas targets. That was also something that they said in their statement, but also trying not to anger the Qataris that this strike took place on their own soil.
And meanwhile, hanging in the balance is the negotiations to end the war in Gaza. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu seemed optimistic, speaking earlier, saying that Hamas will still accept the deal. How is the path forward going to look like now?
It's extremely unclear, and the waters right now are very muddy. One of the people who was believed to have been targeted by this strike is the chief negotiator of that ceasefire agreement. Donald Trump just 48 hours ago said that he was giving Hamas a last chance to get this deal over the line. The new deal he put forward was going to see the release of the remaining 48 hostages that Hamas currently has in their charge, around 20 of whom are still believed to be alive. But that was going to be an initial release of all of those hostages, which again is something Hamas has been loath to do in the past because they were worried that they would lose leverage over the Israelis in any ongoing negotiations. And that would really set the scene for a wider ceasefire, which then would be in effect until all of the quirks of the ceasefire deal got worked out. Now we are worried about the future of that ceasefire deal, whether it would be possible, because a diplomatic part of this appears like it may literally have gone up in smoke as this strike has taken place. Now, of course, the actual success of this at the moment is still to be decided and still to be determined. Hamas have said in the past that their officials survived this strike, but there have been a couple of fatalities. But at the moment, the actual fallout of this is still unclear.
Fraser, good to get that update from you. Thank you so much for bringing us up to speed. Great to see you. Thanks so much for that.